Can I roll some? Can I keep it lit? Can I smoke some? Can I be about a grip? Can I stack up? Can I say money talk? I don't flat guns. Can I play a low key? Mask up? Can I keep it on me? Stay strapped up? Can I hit it face down? Ass up? Can I say we had of our time? They can't lap us.
Yes.
What in the fuck is going on?
It's sent.
What's up? My bad. I was talking to Siri.
No worries. Sometimes you gotta.
Right.
That's the easiest way to text. I feel like, for sure.
Oh yeah, and like, you know, I'm in the day and age where I'm not the best speller, so it's like
should be spelling for you.
I've been so far removed from school.
Oh shit! How you been, man?
I'm good, man. Fucking lightweight. Kind of lost my voice this past couple of days, for no particular reason either. You know what I mean? Just talking loud like I do. You know what I'm saying? Maybe too much voice texting, right? Yelling at Siri. You know what I mean?
No, I said send.
Right? I'm like, send it. Okay. And then it'd be like, record. I'm like, I didn't say edit, bitch. I said edit. Send it.
Oh shit, dude. We haven't linked up in like a grip.
I know, right? I mean, it's kind of crazy because the last time you saw me, I was a father of 3. You know what I'm saying? So now, you know what I mean? We got the army going. You know what I mean? Thank you. Please, no applause. It was hard work. You know what I mean? But plant the seed. You know what I mean?
Someone's
man. It is crazy though, man. Because I mean, I guess in a nutshell, life is all about transitional periods, right? You know what I mean? I think we're never not in a transitional period. Does that make sense? That's kind of profound. I just kind of thought of that right now.
Wow, that's deep.
Right?
Actually.
Like, yeah, I mean, like when you're born, you know, you're transitioning into like from an infant to a toddler, and then, you know, from a toddler to a child, and from a child to a teen, from a teen to an adolescent to an adult, to like actually grown. Because, you know, being like adult age, you know, which in America is what, 18, you're still a baby. You know what I mean? Like, I know people that are my age and they're just my age. They're not grown. You know what I mean? Like, there's a real big difference. You know what I'm saying?
Huge difference. So. I feel like I'm getting old. I'm 23 and I went to I took some days off work and I went to a golf outing with the boys, and I remember being in college and doing like fucking 7-minute gargoyles on top of a keg and sucking down beer for minutes at a time and
defying gravity.
It was crazy. And you wake up the next day and you're like, who's ready to get fucked up again? Dude, I tell you what, I was hurting after the first day. I woke up, head hurt, stomach hurt. I was like, God damn, I need to stop doing this shit. This is crazy.
I mean, especially like golfing too, man, because like you be out there in the sun and it's like, you know what I mean? There ain't really no shade out there, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, golfing's, you know, I'm a terrible golfer, but I'll go because I'm just going to get fucked up.
You know what I mean? That's why most people go unless they're professionals.
Terrible golfer.
It's a fun ass sport, but it's super frustrating. It was funny. So we went to this like little golf resort, and I'm talking out in the fucking boonies. You'll actually die at this because you're in big city living, and I'm up here in Wisconsin. And so I drive out there. I leave where I live in Wisconsin, and immediately, so I can take a left and I can go through town and get on the highway and then get to the interstate, or you take a right and it's a back road. So I type everything in the GPS. I'm leaving. I go to pull out and it has me take a right. And I'm like, where the fuck am I going, dude? So it was straight back roads the whole time. I had no service. And I left like Tuesday night at like 11 p.m., drove back, got home at like, I don't know, like 1:30, 2 o'clock, something like that. And I was so far out in the boonies that I go to take a left on a road and I hit a quick left and I turn, and all of a sudden I see this like big black like fucking thing in the road. And immediately, because it's 11 o'clock at night, there's no street lights. I'm like, oh shit. Oh my, is that Slender Man, dude? It was a bear. It was a bear though, dude. I hit the brakes And I'm like, the fuck is that? And all of a sudden it looks up, big ass fucking black bear. I'm like, what in the fuck, dude?
Yeah. What was it doing? It was eating? Was it eating?
It was just walking through the road. But I put my car in reverse and I just sat there for a second because I was like, if this thing comes at me, I'm hitting a quick reverse. I'm gonna Fast and Furious this shit. Fucking
right.
It was fucking crazy, but it was a good time. We had a good time, but I just don't think I can drink that way anymore. I'm getting too old.
When I was about your age, you know what I mean? I was still drinking like a shit load of Hennessy, and like I'd say before your age, actually, like spent my whole upbringing drinking Hennessy and drinking everything really, but Hennessy was like that's what we went and grabbed at the store, you know what I mean? And then I started going out, and I always drank vodka, like, if it was there, but like now I'm drinking like vodka mixed drinks, and I'm taking shots of Patron, and like I don't know, man, something about that clear liquor, like I'm all right. You know what I mean? Like the next day, Hennessy always, I'm fucked. Even when I was a youngster, you know what I mean? Because I didn't drink to have a sip. You know what I mean? So it's like, you feel me? Like I wake up fucked up,
blackout like, or get out, man.
Yeah, and like you know what, bro? When it comes to the dark liquor, it's all the sugars in it, man. And when we were youngsters, we're drinking Henny and Coke. So it's like you're drinking like just hella grams of sugar per shot per drink, and that shit just fucks you up, and you know what I mean. And so I would say like maybe it's just you got to explore and figure out which drink is yours. Like what were you guys drinking that day?
Well, it's only like liquor. Liquor gets me bad. Like there was one day where I drank just nothing but Coors the whole time, like the whole day, and I was straight the next day. But it's like it's so tough because you're in that setting, and it's like we're obviously playing drinking games, and we're playing a game called Boozy Bunker. So if you hit it in the bunker, you got to take a shot. And dude, we had one of those big ass Gatorade things like that you would see on the sidelines for football. We had one of those filled with jungle juice. We made jungle juice before we went down, and we all had fucking big bottles of it when we went down. So I mean, you hit something in there, and it's like, fuck, dude. You're taking a big pull of it, and then it goes downhill from there. Because then pretty soon you're like, I don't know if I should. I'm gonna feel like shit. Then you look around and everyone else is doing it, and you're like, okay, I guess I'll give it the old college try.
And I'm the motherfucker. I live in that bunker. I live in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit. I remember when we was young and beer pong, like was already hella popular. So I'm talking about this a minute ago, and like I used to be like, wait a second, I gotta miss it to drink the beer. Like, you know what I mean? Because I didn't understand, like, because like if you were good, you're not drinking. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm like, yo, you know what? There's something wrong with this game. You know what I mean? I'm like, and like, so I'd just be terrible. You know what I mean? Get fucked up.
Oh shit, dude.
Those were the decisions I made when I wasn't grown yet. You know what I
mean? When I wasn't grown yet.
Right?
I'm telling you, fuck. I always hated the people at fucking parties that took beer pong way too serious. Drove me nuts, dude. Like, it ricocheted off 3 cups and went in. There's 4 fucking cups, dude. Figure it out. It's like, all right, chill out, dude. Chill the fuck out. I didn't know you were the referee. All right, relax.
And real talk, it's like if you're at this party, right? Play some beer pong with some hoes, or like get at some hoes, bro. Like,
right,
the motherfuckers is so serious at a party full of hoes with this beer pong shit, bro.
Right, dude. It's like they treat it like they're trying to it's an Olympic fucking event that they're trying out for. Like, oh man, I get 7 cups, I get the bitches and
the official table. The official beer pong table.
Right, dude. People take it way too serious. I'm like, oh my god, dude, shut the fuck up. It used to drive me nuts.
I remember this has got to be like my daughter was already born, so this was like maybe 2007 or 8. And I just remember there was a white rapper. His name was like Asher Roth.
Asher Roth, yeah, he said I Love College.
Yeah, and like all in the videos, they're just playing beer pong and shit like that. And I remember reading an article during that time that like there was an outbreak of herpes at like various colleges because of beer pong. You know what I mean? And I never went down the rabbit hole to see if that was like, if we could dispel that, because I'm not even sure if that's a way you could even transfer it, just like sipping from the same cup. You know what I mean? But
I think it is.
it happened. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, can you imagine that? You're just playing, you go to the party, you're playing beer pong. You know what I mean? You go home with herpes. Fuck that.
That's a fucking tough night out. Herpes and a hangover, bud.
Right? And
Oh
like,
my god.
yeah, and I mean, it's you know what's crazy is it's so unsanitary. Like now, after COVID and after the apocalypse and quarantine and shit like that, it's amazing how fucking, according to quarantine rules, how dangerous as fuck a lot of things are. For example, beer pong. You know what I mean? You're touching the ball, you throw the ball, it can bounce all over the place, you're on the ground or whatever.
Oh
And
yeah.
then you might have a ball wash, right? A little cup for a ball wash, dump it in the ball wash. Fucking that water's dirty.
Yeah, that water's brown and
That's
shit.
brown as a motherfucker. You're throwing this shit in the beer. You're drinking the beer. You got your guy. He's, oh, give me a reshape or whatever you call it. You're like, reshape that shit. They're touching the rim of the cups. And you about to drink that shit and get herpes. You know what I'm saying? Let alone COVID. You know what I mean?
Bro, I watched people like the ball would be on the ground, pick it up, dump it in the nasty fucking cup with the water, make it, and I saw people like would drink and then they'd finish it and have the ball in their mouth, fucking spit it up in the air. I'm like, that's fucking gross. Why would you do that?
First of all, a man should always avoid situations like where balls are in your mouth. Or you ever seen Superbad?
Yeah.
I forget what it was. He had like a phobia against like certain foods because like that are shaped like penises, like hot dogs.
Yeah, because he was always drawing dicks when he was
Yeah,
young.
he's like, you know, you can't look manly eating a popsicle, bro. Nor with balls in your mouth.
Yeah, they made him stay away from like dick shaped foods or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
That movie was great.
fucking awesome movie.
And then the nerd motherfucker, he's actually the guy that came through with everything.
Yeah,
Came through
Fogel.
with the ID and the drinks. He ended up getting the pussy. He ended up fucking, pulling a fast one on the cops. You feel me? Like Fogel came through, bro. Low key.
Yeah.
They should have did a spinoff. Fogel goes to college.
That would have been heat, dude. That would have been fire.
Really would have, because he was just this happy-go-lucky kid that no one suspects, and he just makes it happen. You know what I mean?
Have you seen the videos of him doing the intros for rap song, like the "Damn son, where'd you find this"?
Nah, I gotta look that up.
That's fucking crazy.
Fucking share that screen. Let's go find that shit. Actually, can we play audio when you share screen?
I have no idea.
I mean, at least from YouTube, right? I mean, that's because now that for the life of me, I can't think if we've ever shared a screen from something that wasn't like, something we cropped. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. I don't know if I can. Can you hear that?
Nah. Can you?
I can. Let me see
That's
here.
weird.
I'm gonna see if I can.
It's an audio setting then.
Let me see. So if I go to.
You know what I'm thinking? Once we get moving forward with this show, we'll just leave Saturdays or Tuesdays open. Like, you know what I mean? Because then,
I'm down.
just in case we can't do the Tuesday, we'll do the Saturday, and then vice versa. You know what I mean? Because like, my intention is I want to, we're doing a lot of shows coming up. Like you're gonna be coming on my network as well. You know what I mean? We're gonna be doing a lot of work. I want to just flood it with everything until football starts. Then I get a solid schedule with the fantasy podcast, and then as well as like, this one as well. You know what I mean? Because yeah, we got a lot of things coming.
Hell yeah!
We really do.
Let me see it. Can you hear this? Can you hear it?
I feel like I can hear it faintly, but You know what it is, bro? I just thought of something.
What?
Before, you know how you shout out to Miles, right? You know how Miles, we always be like, and then
Yeah.
one day I was like, I wonder what sound a peacock actually makes. So Clock looked it up, and he shared the screen, but we couldn't hear it, so he had to play it from his loudspeaker. You know what I mean? So I don't think there is a way to do that unless they're like pre-recorded clips. You know what I mean? Like how we be running the intro.
Yeah. I mean, fuck. It's fucking crazy, dude. When he does it, it's crazy as hell. You gotta look it up. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, should read a link because I'm a motherfucker. That's a motherfucker I'd kick it with, bro. I'd kick it with
Yeah,
for
hell yeah.
get hella pussy.
Oh shit. All right. Well, now that we've went on a fucking 16-minute tangent, we should probably tell people what we're doing.
Yeah. It's an elaborate secret. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let them know, man. Let them. It's funny. I'm like, let them know, Blake. I'm like, what are we doing?
So essentially, me and Bogard are going to be running a network
Yeah.
called the Nightcap Network. And we're also going to have Spencer the Guru involved and Fantasy Football Hustler. We're going to essentially what we're trying to do, everyone, is we're trying to give everyone a platform where we can not only everyone can see each of our individual content, but everyone can see us collab together. Everyone can see everything that essentially our whole group does. It's almost like an outlet for the people that consistently watch us, and it's an easy way to find us. And we'll have links for everyone's personal shit as well, which will make it easy to find. But what's kind of different is we're going to be well, once we figure it out, we're still working out the kinks to it right now. But what we're also going to be doing is whenever we record on Nightcap Network, we'll be live on Nightcap Network, but we're also going to be live on everyone's shit. So you can go over to Spencer the Guru's page and look at whatever's going on in the network. You can go over to Bogart's, Hustlers, my page, whatever it is. We're just going to be collabing here and there. It's going to be something that we're all pretty excited about, I think, just because it's something that we've been looking forward to doing.
Oh yeah, real talk. You know what I mean? And like, it's also just I don't see anything but being beneficial when we just collaborate like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see where it loses. You know what I mean?
Right, I'm saying, and
it's not opposed to what anyone else is doing on other networks. I'm just saying that's how we finna do it. You know what I mean?
And like something I guess that I should have said too, like Nightcap Network is just a catchy name for a group.
For all intents and purposes, yes.
Yeah, it's just going to be something where essentially it's going to be an outlet where you can easily access all of our stuff. It's not going to be the predominant focus of everything. We're trying to focus on each other. Yeah. We're trying to focus on each other and help each other grow, and also giving my fan base a good platform to reach Bogard easily, but also reach Guru, Hustler, and vice versa. Everyone searching up everyone's stuff. So that's kind of the game plan here. We're working out some kinks still, but we just wanted to start it off a little bit here.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because we're about a couple cut hairs away from fully operational. You know what I mean? But I really do like the direction we're going because we have a direction, which is important to have.
Right.
I guess it might just start there even. You know what I mean? And I feel really good about everything we're about to do. I mean, we're like we had mentioned earlier. We can bring it full circle. We are in a transitional period all the time. You know what I mean? For those who don't agree with that, you better be the richest motherfucker in the world with your feet up, because if not, and even in that case, that person might be transitioning into the next phase, which is afterlife. You know what I mean? Like, because it never stops transitioning.
Hell yeah!
You know what I mean? From the cradle to the grave.
Well, and I think it's cool too, because we're at least to kind of touch on the plans for what we're going. So
Right.
if you guys like noticed the intro tonight, me and Bogart are going to have a little show called the Trailer Pod Boys. We're just going to bullshit about whatever's on our mind.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're still going to stick with, fantasy football content as well. That's still going to be a focus on one of the shows. We're also planning to do like a little drinking game show as well on some nights. Now, what's cool about this is just because we're all together and just because we're on my shit tonight doesn't mean that I'm going to be on every episode, and it doesn't have to be that way. I don't have to be on everything. These guys are going to have full reign to do whatever they want during the day. If they got an idea that pops up, fuck it, let's go live, let's do whatever. So eventually we're going to transition into a point where we got schedules and people can catch us a little easier. But for the first little bit here, it's going to be it's going to be free reign. If you want to go live, go live. Fuck it, let's have some fun. Because ultimately, when it comes down to it, none of us are making enough bread to call this a full-time job. Hustler. Hustler.
Hustler's killing it.
Yeah, he's crushing it.
Oh yeah.
But it's one of those things where we're hoping that eventually we're going to transition in that period. But for right now, we're just trying to ELE, everybody love everybody.
Yeah, TPB, the Trailer Pod Boys. You feel me? Let's go. Hey, you know what's funny is like when you first told me the name, I was like, I was like, bro, we should like watch trailers of shit, right?
We could, dude. We could.
We really could, right? Like just like movies that already came out. Like this right here is 1984's trailer of The Lost Boys or some shit. I mean, and it just waxed poetic about it. Like, that's the beauty of Trailer Pod Boys. We don't know exactly where it's going yet, but we do know it's going.
It's fucking going, man.
Yes, in a direction.
Which is fucking straight ahead.
Everywhere.
Straight ahead with a couple rights and lefts. No big deal.
Yes, into the boondocks. Look out for the bear. Take a right when you see the bear in the street.
Bingo. Hit a reverse and get ready to fucking go backwards.
Yeah. Hey, them bears, bro, when they stand up on their hind legs, bro, they're like
big as hell.
8, 9, 10 feet tall, bro.
Big as hell. I know. I was so nervous because it's just the middle of the night. It's like fucking midnight. And I'm like, are you shitting me? This big ass bear in the road. I'm like, here we go. I'm going to get eaten alive in the middle of the Wisconsin woods.
You know what's crazy is like, to my understanding, I don't think they're nocturnal. So that trips me out because it's like, what is that motherfucker doing? He was like, that's why I asked you, was he eating? Or like, was he hurt? Or like,
what's this guy up to in the middle of the night? The fuck?
Right? Like that motherfucker's supposed to be asleep. Matter of fact, they'll sleep for months on end. Like maybe he just got out of hibernation a couple months back. And he's still trying to find his way. You know what I mean? Because I'm saying, like, what the fuck was that bear doing?
Dude, it was wild.
But you know what though? I'm lying because I've been camping before where like bears have fucked our shit up. Or even like I went like cabbing, or is that a thing? I guess you could say skiing, and we stayed in a cabin. I said cabbing. we stayed in a cabin, bro, and we had to keep our food. There was like a facility outside you could lock everything in, like a shed, because like the bears will like try to get in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like in your house even. So it was like, and we did see a bear. So you know what? Bears they be walking around at night, I guess. You feel me?
It's a science show.
Yeah, we will get to the bottom of this. The Northern California black bear. You know what I mean? They're everywhere.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, it was really crazy. But God, was it a good time? We almost got kicked off the course. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So first of all, when I pull up, so I'm the first one there. This is the funniest shit. So I pull up and I park and I get out and I just hear lose yourself in the moment you want it. And I'm like, the hell is that? So I walk around the corner. There's a big ass stage. But there's a big ass stage like next to the whole tee box. So I look down and dude, there's this massive dude just rapping. Eminem on this stage. And I'm like, the hell? So I go inside, come back out. My buddy calls me and I answer the phone. He hears it in the background. And I go, do you hear that? He's like, yeah, what the fuck is that? And I started laughing. I said, there's some random guy up on the stage rapping right now. And it's funny because that whole one tee box, it's right next, like, because there, I think the nearest gas station is like 20 minutes away or something like that. Yeah. So you're out in the middle of nowhere, and there's like a bar and restaurant. There's like 2 restaurants, a bar,
like a country club.
Kind of. It's like
it's just a course with a bar and a restaurant and shit like that.
Yeah, and there's like an ice cream shop. There's an arcade. There's a pool and
like an arcade.
Yeah.
Ooh. I like it.
Okay, it's pretty sweet, but like everything is there. So essentially the idea is you don't have to leave like the little resort to get anything.
Yeah.
And what's even crazier, at the bar, they'll serve you to-go cups. Like they'll be like,
yeah, you
they're like,
course.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you want a course? Here you go. And you just go in and buy it. Or if you buy like a mixer, they'll put it in a to-go cup with a cap. And they're just like, yeah, go for it, man. See it. Yeah. And you just leave the bar. So, but it's funny because that hole 1 tee box, essentially, like when you're hitting, your right or left arm, depending upon which way you swing, is facing the rest of this resort. So my buddy is all fucked up. I mean, he's hammered. There's a tree directly next to the tee box. He turns and he's facing the hotel and just whips his dick out and starts peeing, facing the hotel, not even behind the tree. So then he zips his pants, and I'm dying laughing. And he's like, what, dude? What? He's all fucked up. And I'm dying laughing. Pretty soon, the guy that essentially is running the course pulls down in his golf cart. He's like, hey, guys, you want to have a little respect for the course? He's like, Christ, there's families here, man. And I'm trying I'm trying not to laugh. And he drives away. And as he's driving away, the guy goes, oh, by the way, no carry-ons, because we brought our own cases of beer out there with us. He goes, by the way, no carry-ons. And he's pulling away. My buddy's like, dude, if you don't want people to have carry-ons, why don't you send the cart girl out here in the middle of the week? It's fucking Monday. You got no one running beers around.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, yeah, it's Monday, dude. You're the only people here. Oh my God. It was funny, but yeah, we almost got kicked off the course like the second day we were there. My buddy was wasted, dude.
So were you driving there like and back every day, or you stayed at the resort?
Stayed at the resort. So you just walk right up to the room. It was kind of cool too, because we had 2 rooms, because there's multiple of us. So me and the one dude had like a big ass suite. We had like a full kitchen, and it was decked out. And they originally, when we pulled up, she's like, oh, I only have you reserved for 1 room. And I was like, God damn it. And it only had 2 beds. And I was like, God damn it. She goes, well, I can get you a second room. She's like, does it have to be the same exact thing? Like, do you both want suites? And I was like, no. She's like, okay, cool. So she changes us rooms, gets us a second room, and our rooms were connected by one of those doors. So we just had the door open the whole time. Massive room.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. We were bopping back and forth. We were playing Wii games because one day it rained, so we just got all fucked up and played Wii golf. But we all wore our golf stuff. My buddy had his glove on. We're hitting.
Hey, that Wii golf was the shit.
Right, dude.
So the rooms had, you know what's crazy? How old Wii is now. Like,
but it's still fire.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you know, like, damn, we've been around for a cool minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think I've ever laid hands myself on the Twitch or the Switch, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've seen it be played several times in front of me, but I just, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
I haven't played one either, I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, like, I kind of gave up video games, man, because, like, just anything that took time away from what I wanted to do, because I would, like, you mentioned an arcade earlier. I was like, ooh. That's where I would be. That's what I was thinking. Like, I'd be in that arcade all day. You know what I mean? Like, especially if they had some Street Fighter in that motherfucker. I fucking, like, I have dreams of playing Street Fighter. Like, because I played it since I was a child. So, like, I'll have dreams of me playing, like, the arcade machine. You know what I mean? Like, still doing combos. Like, it's like, what is it called? Lucidly dreaming, because it's such second nature playing that game. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, like, I literally played that game from, like, the age of 7 till I want to say like early 20s. You know what I mean? Because then I just kind of stopped playing. Like I remember I had my first daughter, and I got a PS3, and Street Fighter 4 came out, and I was like, "Fuck it, we're doing this." And then like PlayStation, they offered their online shit for free. So it was a
Right,
wrap. It
right.
was a wrap. I was just, and like, I just had a baby. So like I'd be doing the night shift, and like that was cool because I'd be like, go ahead, sleep, babe. And I'd just play video games. And if the baby wakes up, I'll feed her. You put her back to sleep. And I'd just be playing all night. And these motherfuckers would have the Japanese symbols on their name. Because I knew I was going to war with Japanese motherfuckers. They'd be like, middle of the day for them, but middle of the night for me. And we're just going to war, bro. Motherfuckers were like, I'll be about to beat this motherfucker, right? And then they'll disconnect. I get hella hot, bro. Like, fuck. Because also, for like, I would see motherfuckers and you see their rankings, and that became addicting. Like, I got to get my rank up, right?
Yeah, right.
And I'd see motherfuckers with smaller rankings trying to challenge me. And I'd be like, nah, pass on them. Because if I lose to them, it'll drastically drop your rank. And vice versa, it'd bring their rank up. So, like, I would always challenge like the big higher ranked motherfuckers. And like when you would get close to beating the motherfuckers, they would disconnect and be like, son of a bitch, because I waited like 45 minutes for this motherfucker to play me. You know what I mean? And just denying other people all day. Like, and you know what's crazy is because I was there too at one point when I first started. People didn't know I'm good. So I'm just beating motherfuckers left and right. And like I'm, these bigger these higher ranking guys, they would fight me because they're like, he's nothing. And I'd beat them and they'd be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, so I knew real fast, like, nah, you gotta get your rank up to fuck with me. You know what I mean? Like, even though I was hella low ranking myself. Fuck that shit.
Bro, it was a crazy little place because they had they said too, like they said like mobsters used to go out there and like hide out. Like there was like underground tunnels and shit or something.
Oh shit.
Because it's essentially in the middle of Wisconsin, but it's on like an island. It's in like the middle of like a little lake type thing. So you got to it's a one-car bridge to get over there. It's a one-car bridge. You got to wait, make sure no one's coming. You got to go across, and the bridge is wooden. I'm driving my car across. I'm like, this shit's gonna break. And
Wow.
but when you get over there, it's so funny because my buddy, same one that whipped his dick out facing the hotel, he doesn't fuck with ghosts at all. Like he's like, nope, not doing it. So it's funny because I asked the lady because I knew it opened at one point, closed down, and reopened. So I asked her, I was like, hey, front desk lady, and I was like, what's the
story?
I was like, when did this place originally open up? She's like, oh, early 1900s. And I was like, oh, when did it reopen? She's like 2019. And I was like, no kidding. And I go, is this place haunted? Immediately doesn't even bat an eye. She goes, oh yeah, this place is haunted. And I look at my buddy. He's like, dude.
I mean, think about this. You're like, whenever you want to do bad shit, where do you go? You take him to an island, right?
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, what was that one dude? He was connected to Pizzagate. He was like the dude. Are you aware of Pizzagate?
No.
It's like the Pizzagate was what Trump was exposing when he was about to lose to Hillary. So I think they call it the WikiLeaks.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So like it had a bunch of information where like these high-profile politicians were connected to these pedophile rings, and here's this guy. He had this island. You know what I mean? Like he's like this European dude, but like, the Clinton administration, like all these different administrations were fucking with this dude, and he would just. You would go to his island, I essentially to fuck children, I guess, what I'm saying, for lack of a better word.
Wait, are you talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
No, that's a different story.
Oh, okay.
That's totally different.
I was going to say that sounds eerily similar.
That's totally different. Nah, this because he had an island too. This is like this dude was even this European cat, from the life of me, I can't remember his name, but he was also connected to like Charleston Heston. Am I saying that name right? He was yeah. So like, so supposedly this guy was supposed to be a good figure in, what I mean, in politics, but just low key was just the head of a gigantic global pedophile ring. You know what I mean? But anyways, Wisconsin was one of those places where they had a lot of those I guess those, underground society groups. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
like they
shit.
just like how about this? Do you remember that one dude, man? It was in Minnesota, but a lot, but so I might be just assuming it's similar to Wisconsin, but that one dude, man, the Making a Murderer. You
Oh,
remember that
yeah,
shit?
yeah.
Yeah, that dude, fucking whatever his name is, Stephen Avery.
Yeah,
You know,
he's in Wisconsin.
yeah. So I was right. It was in Wisconsin, and
Yeah,
like,
he's in Manitowoc.
yeah, and like that police force in there was a part of that little underground society, and like supposedly, like, he had the drop on a lot of them. Like he had got a hold of like pictures of like all these police officers like butt naked with other dudes. Like I guess that was the thing they were into. You know what I mean? And like I don't know, man. But yeah, but
It's
this is
wild.
it's some weird shit that goes on over there. Is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's kind of weird. I ain't gonna lie.
And
It's all
apparently
about
it's like apparently it's like one of the more racist places to be too. Like I've never been there, but also like I also hear the same thing about like Boston, but more specifically like, in sporting events. But Wisconsin, you hear about it just as in its entirety. Like it's just like a racist ass state.
There's definitely parts of it. There's like if you go like the bigger areas, super open minded about everything. But like
Yeah.
smaller areas here and there around, it's like Jesus Christ, it's crazy.
How are you? You're not far from like Milwaukee either.
I'm like 2.5, 3 hours from Milwaukee. I'm in like the center of the state.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're not too far from everything. Like, how far is like Illinois?
5 hours.
5 hours, not bad. I be forgetting how like states aren't that big, quote unquote, because like I'm from Cali, where it's like, you know what I mean, like to get to the southern part of Cali, you know what I mean, that's like 7-8 hours from where, and I'm northern Cali, but I'm not even fully north. Like I'm like north, considered north because I'm above central Cali, but like there's another 8 hours from the Bay Area going up north to get to like Humboldt County, where like the Emerald Triangle's at, where they grow all
Yeah,
for like the last 100 years or whatever.
that's a super good documentary.
Yeah, I haven't sat through that documentary because I lived it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I got some stories like going up there, like doing illegal shit back, which I could speak on because it's statute of limitation, you know what I'm saying? But also because like it was just like what everyone was doing it, like going up to Humboldt County and buying like several pounds of marijuana for like, damn near 40% off of what you would pay in the market in the Bay Area. You know what I mean? But then now you got to drive this bitch down, and
Yeah,
like you're going through like countless little towns. It's like, it goes from like you're on a one-way freeway where it's 2 lanes, 1 lane on this side, 1 lane on the other side. And then like, you got to watch the signs because it'll be like 45 miles an hour, 55, then it'll be like 25. Because like you're going through like these little towns, but it's just the same road. You know what I mean? Which is considered a highway. But it's like, you're passing through different counties. And like, bro, like it was like clockwork. Every time you see like a billboard, like that's, from the ground,
yeah.
when you pass that bitch by, there's a cop behind it, or I mean a CHP, because that's all they do all day. They just, you know what I mean? They're looking for people trying to transport marijuana, and that was during that time. Now it's like just it's fucking totally legit. You know what I mean? Totally fucking legal. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, I got some adventures, man.
That's,
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of
fucking
crazy.
wild.
Yeah, like even like taking stuff from way up north, then like making money off of it in the Bay, or even double, tripling our efforts, and then essentially taking from what we got from Humboldt, coming down to the Bay, and then taking a second trip down to like SoCal, because then the market was even lower. It was even higher over there from what it was. Like we were getting good deals where we were at. You know what I mean? Then you go fully up north, and it's like they're just giving that shit away basically at the time, because it's like, especially like there's differences. There's indoor weed, which is like some fucking designer shit. That's like going to like a 5-star restaurant, right? And then you can go to like the fast food joint, which would be like some outdoor weed, which is like you can grow in abundance, and like you can get really good at like the curing process. So like after you cut it and dry it, and then you manicure it, and then you cure it in jars, or you know what I'm saying? So you put it in dark place, and it'll develop like the THC crystals and whatnot, and it becomes hella pretty looking. You know what I mean? So most people that like do commercial growing, they don't give a fuck about that shit. They cut it, chop it, ship it out. You know what I mean? But like that's where the white boys were phenomenal, because the white boys, they especially like the real hippies, they fucking love weed. Like you know what I mean? Like they put love into it. You know what I mean? Like they will, like, if something was ready to be harvested in a month, to them it's like 2 months away, because you're gonna cure that bitch. You know what I mean? And you're gonna take it from it being a 5 to an 8. You know what I mean? Like, so imagine when you take that indoor shit, which is cultivated to be more potent, etc. Right? Then you cure that as well. You know what I mean? So now you got like some top shelf designer shit that, like, what's funny is like my there was a time period where I lived with my girl, and she was living at her folks' house still, and I would be stashing like pounds of weed in my girl's room. You know what I mean? Because I was just all over the place. I'd keep stuff there, keep stuff at my mom's crib, keep stuff at the trap house. We were just like, we were all over the place. And it's funny because I never tripped, because my girl's dad didn't smoke weed. He had been around weed in like the 60s, you know what I mean, in the 70s, but it was never his bag. So he would just walk around the house and be like, it smells like a skunk. And I'd be like, I don't know, man, because to him, that wasn't what weed smelled like. You know what I mean?
Right.
But this is that super duper that is, you know what I mean? It smells like some straight skunk. And he's walking around like, y'all smell that? I'm like, sure do. Like, smells great, but he just had no clue, because he's so squared up. My dad, on the other hand, that motherfucker is a complete opposite. Like, he smokes good. You know what I mean? Like, my dad will come, I'll go to my dad's house and he'll have some weed that trips me out. Like, oh shit, where'd you get this? You know what I mean? Like, because he never smoked till he came to Frisco from the Philippines. You know what I'm saying? He gets to San Francisco and it's just a whole another vibe. You know what I mean? People doing LSD. You still have you literally have a place called Hate Street. Hate Street is like, it's a square, right? It's a town square, and it's like where all the hippies resided. So nowadays it's a bunch of dispensaries in that little area. You know what I mean? It's people go there. It's called Hippie Hill. There's a hill, and people go there every 420, and it's like thousands of people out there just smoking, bro. Like, it's funny, because growing up where I grew up at, like, we're just on the cutting edge of every kind of designer drug you could think of. You know what I mean? Like, the innovations of marijuana in general, like specifically, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just, like, when that Sports Me app, there was a motherfucker, I don't know where he was from, like Delaware or some shit. And, we were all having a back and forth with this dude. And then he started trying to attack everybody personally, to the best of his ability, from what you can get from someone on the app, right? Like, how well do you know someone? 30-second increments, right? So like, he just started going in on me. Yeah, and with some of this Bogart guy, all he does is smoke weed. What, you can't put the joint down? And it's just like, so here's my rebuttal. I'm like, bro, it's fucking. Oh, and also he was like, there's kids on this app, and you're trying to set a bad example. And I'm like, I'm from Cali, bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's like, I'll smoke weed in front of my kids, and it's not to be a dick. It's because they're not old enough to do it yet. It's legal now. You know what I mean?
Right,
so
right.
It's the same way, like, what if people try to hide drinking from children? Like, like in front of them at least. You know what I mean? Like, it's so funny, because I am from one of the OG states that, is recreational. So to see that, sir, like Gemmo, he's out there in Massachusetts, and they went fully recreational about a year ago. And So he feels me on shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's a different type of freedom when you're a pothead. Like, I remember being a kid with all my homies and we'll go to the movies and like, you know, we got like 30 minutes before we got to go into the theater. So it'd be like, all right, let's go burn. And like, we're a group of kids just tucked off in between two cars in the parking lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
right.
like you see someone come out, oh shit, light a cigarette. You know what I mean? You're just trying to act like you ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean? And like, it's funny because now it's like you just gotta be 25 feet from a door. And you also gotta be smart too, because now cops, they can just give you for like public intoxication now. You know what I mean? They can see you smoking, like, come here, write you a ticket. And there's like, oh, what? You know what I mean? Like, bro, if you don't get caught smoking while driving under the influence, that's a DUI, bro. Can you fucking imagine that? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a trip, bro. Yeah, because I really believe like people that have a problem with like people that smoke weed, I think it's because like one, they're like an uptight little bitch and was too scared to smoke weed, or like they smoked weed and had a bad experience. You know what I mean? Or even worse, they ate an edible and it just fucked their life off, because most people like don't understand that. Like, I wouldn't even fuck with edibles like that. You know what I
Most
mean?
people just eat the whole fucking thing.
Like a fucking idiot. And like we're so good at it these days that it's delicious. Like my man's, he has a bakery, and at his bakery he's licensed to do, you know, medical orders. So you can go get like a cheesecake and it's edible. You know what I mean?
No shit.
Yeah. And like it's so delicious that it's fucking dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because like, first of all, when you digest things, you know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that's usually par for the course. Then you start feeling it. But then say like I had a, you know, uncharacteristic big meal like that day, and then I ate an edible, and you know, 30 minutes to an hour, I don't feel shit because it hasn't digested through me yet. And then you make the mistake, like, you know, let me eat some more. You know what I mean? And then it just all starts to hit you simultaneously and one after another, and you're just fucked. And
right.
yeah, it's crazy.
You're just like, fuck. You're moving slow as hell. You're like,
there's a brand, there's an edible brand out here. I forget what the brand is called, but the slogan is you can't eat it in reverse. Because like, and I so
that's fucking intense.
When you buy like they don't sell this amount anymore, but before they used to sell like 1,000 milligram brownies. Like, put it in perspective,
Holy
10
fuck.
10 milligrams, you're feeling good, right? So like, and like when you buy this brownie, it comes on like a cardboard sheet that's folded up on one side. So then when you open the package, you fold the cardboard down. That's like, you know, adjacent to the cardboard. It has measurements. So you can cut your shit accordingly because you can't eat it in reverse.
That's fucking smart though.
Yeah. Because, bruh, I got a quick story before we close this one out, right? So one of my boys, he lives up north in Sacramento. He's from where I'm from, but he moved out there, and like, he's my brother for real. He's like a godfather to, you know, one of my daughters. He's my brother from another, one of my best friends in the world. All we've ever done when we're kids, when we get together, is get fucked up. So like, for example, he was like, hey, I'm coming into town. And without even asking, I know he's going to crash at my pad. You know, he has a couple things to do while he's in town, but he's going to crash here. I clear in my schedule. We're going to, you know, I put in an order for a couple eighths of shrooms. You know what I mean? We're going to go in. And so we're posted up, and we eat the shrooms, and he's a heavy set dude. He's a big dude. He's a fat ass, you know what I'm saying? For lack of a better term. He's proud of it. So we order a large pizza, and we're tearing this pizza down, right? And you know, we eat the shrooms with the pizza, and you know, he's never shroomed before. So I'm like, just eat half an eighth, you're a big dude, and we'll take it from there. I eat half an eighth, I'm feeling great. He's like, I don't know, man. And like, he had brought one of those 1,000 milligram brownies. So, we start off 25 milligrams each, just cut little quarter pieces. Ha. And like, now, he's eating more shrooms. He's starting to feel it. By this point, when we get together, we start to acting like how we were as kids. Like, where it'd be like, bitch, you won't eat another 50 milligrams. Like, go grab, motherfucker. You won't. You know what I mean? Like, before he could even say it, I'm all right, motherfucker. Eat that shit, bitch. You know what I mean? And like, so we're powering. First of all, we're on a Ace Ventura, we're on a Jim Carrey marathon. So we're watching all the Ace Venturas, Dumb and Dumber, just like
Nice.
hours are flying by. Like my temples hurt from laughing. And it's so funny because like we've seen these movies a million times, but on shrooms, it's fucking incredible. You know what I mean? So like, and we're feeling fantastic. And my girl gets home from work. It's like 3 PM. And she already knows, like, there's no fucking with us. Like, we're just on this couch. We're going to be plastered there all night. And by the time, it's nightfall. Now we've graduated from Jim Carrey on to Adam Sandler. And then now we're just watching. He was like, do you ever fuck with any of those, Chinese action movies? And I'm like, nah. And so we start watching, like, It Man. Like, and I can't even read right now because I'm shrooming so hard. We're just watching it. It looks crazy. And like, I remember the conversation was talking about chi. You know what I mean? Like, chi is basically like your essence. You know what I mean? Like in Chinese monks, they felt that they could be in touch with their chi and do incredible things like fly and incredible strength and healing powers, shit like that.
Right.
And like my boy goes, I bet you if you eat another 100 milligrams, you'll be in touch with your chi. And I'm like, I'll do it if you do it. And he's like, fuck it, let's do it. And then we eat this shit, right? So now I come up with this bright idea because now, and I remember this because this, like, everything is clear as day until like kind of after this point. But we get to watching John Wick now, so we're on this action, movie like Tear, and part 1 and 2 were out at this point. So we watched part 1 and 2, and we're on this Fire Stick shit, so we can just watch whatever we think of. You know what I mean? And so we're sitting there, and I get to thinking, hey, I bet you we could smash the rest of this 1,000 milligrams. At this point, we're already 600 milligrams in. And like, this is crazy because we're on shrooms too. And the shrooms probably would have been gone already, but it was a sativa brownie. Sativa is like, that's like psychological aspect of marijuana versus indica is those strains are more of a, like body high. So this shit is like kicking in the shrooms like crazy. And then, long story longer, we get to a point where I am now, I'm done. Like I see my boy, he's snoring on the other side of the couch. I'm like, I'm gonna go to sleep now. We're done. You know what I mean? We probably got close to 700 milligrams, but it was just like, that was it. You know what I mean? And so I'm trying to sleep now, and it's pitch black in my room. You know what I mean? The kids are asleep, my girl's asleep, and I'm laying down. Every time I close my eyes, my third eye is just going crazy. I'm talking about like every time I close my eyes, I see colors. And the best way to describe it is like, like you ever been hungover and then someone goes, wake up, and they open the blinds and the sun comes through, and you're like, ah.
Yeah.
It was like that when I closed my eyes. So I'm laying here trying to fall asleep with my eyes open because it's dark. And like, I'm just getting hit with waves of this fucking edible. So I look at the time, it's like, it's nearing sunrise. And I'm like, fuck, once the sun comes up, I'm not going to be able to sleep. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I go down to my boy because I'm thinking too, there's one point where I'm like, am I dead? Right? And I go to my boy and he's like, he has sleep apnea. Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He's like on the couch like that. And I'm like, hey, Marlo. He's like, oh. Because it's like, I guess, I'm like, oh shit, okay, he's alive. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, okay, cool. He's not dead. You know what I mean? Because he's been my co-defendant for years whenever we're just getting fucked up. So I'm like, he's all right, I'm all right. And then now I'm making hella noise because my coordination isn't that great. And I figured I'll just clean up the fucking 24-hour mess that me and my boy made from the day before. You know what I mean? So I'm cleaning up. My boy wakes up. He's like, "Hey man, you good?" I'm like, "Fuck, I'm fucked up, dog." I'm like explaining it to him. Like, when I close my eyes, it's like blurring colors and lights. And he's like, "It sounds tight." I'm like, "It's not. It's fucking.
It's not tight at all.
It was maddening. You know what I mean? Like, it was driving me crazy. Now, long story longer. I come up with the right idea. I'm like, "Hey, I need Patron." You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm gonna go to the store, and I'm in no condition to drive. I'm gonna walk. You know what I mean? It's like a 5-minute walk. I go to the store. The dude's tripping off me because the dude knows me at the liquor store. He's like, "Damn, started early." And like, we go home, pound a few shots. He's drinking with me, probably kick it for like an hour. Then we both pass back out. And I woke up, and I swear for like 3 days, I was like, I'm never doing shrooms again. And then I did shrooms like 3 days later, but it was just like, yo, it was intense. Like, it wouldn't go away because that brownie just kept kicking it back into gear.
Fuck, that's crazy as hell.
Yeah, and it's funny because before I went downstairs to like go clean and stuff, there was a brief moment where I'm panicking. And I'm like, "Babe," and she's like, "What?" I'm waking her up. I'm like, I think I'm gonna die. She's like, "What the fuck?" And she knows I've been partying with Marlo, and she knows how we get out. So she's like, "Stupid motherfucker, how old do you think you are? Every time you get with Marlo, you guys act like you're fucking kids and blah blah blah." And she always brings up this one time that me and my boy Marlo joke about where I almost killed him because like he used to live with us at one point, and like I had this neighbor, he worked for Google. And this dude was awesome, dude. He would just come by and was always on Molly. And he would just come by with a big ass jar, just be like, here. Just it could be like me and all my boys kicking it, just everyone for everyone. You know what I mean? And like, so we would just be like smacking for no reason. You know what I mean? Like it'd be like watching football, we're just fucking rolling. You know what I mean? And like, so there's this one day, right? My neighbor comes by and he's like, "Bro," and these were called Euros. So it's not just MDMA. It's a specific type of MDMA. They're like quadruple stacked and they're pure. So it's, you don't feel like shit after it. These are phenomenal. Anyways, my boy, he's watching my neighbor get down. He's crushing him down and railing him. Right. So my boy's like, "All right, fuck it." He busts it down and he rails that thing. Immediately his nose is bleeding. Right. Just like gushing, right? And like my girl's a nurse, and like so he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go inside and clean up." I'm like, "Cool." And he's up there for a minute. Then my girl calls me. She's like, "I think Marlon needs to go to the emergency room." I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, "What?" I'm trying to play dumb. He told me you guys are snorting ecstasy, and I'm like, "No." I'm like,
He's a fucking liar.
I popped mine. Like I wasn't lying. But I was like, "No, I'm not snorting that shit." Like, "Well, you're on it." Like, yeah, right. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm good. And like he's panicking because he's so on one. And like, your heart's racing a ton. He's just leaking, bro. And like he just be like sitting there like, "Bro, he's like, fuck, I feel cold right now." And then like he was just Googling shit like, "Oh, when you lose a lot of blood," because like this, I'm talking quarts and quarts of blood, bro. Like
Yeah.
he was sitting in my garage. He just had a paper towel roll, and it's just like a garbage bag or like a Target bag, plastic bag full of like just blood and fucking and paper towel. and like he always brings like check this out. This is how far it went. He's like, "Should I call an ambulance?" I'm like, "You call an ambulance, bro, it's gonna be like $1,400. You know what I mean? And he's like, "Oh, well," I think I'm good enough to drive." And I'm like, "Don't drive, bro." He's like, "Well, I'll wait it out. If I don't stop, my nose don't stop bleeding, I'm gonna drive." I'm like, "All right, to each his own, man." He ends up leaving. And when he's like, "Okay, I think I'm good enough to drive," and he leaves, like he just stuffs hella fucking paper towels in his nose. And he gets in the car, and then like 5 minutes later, you just hear the car pull around. He's like, I can't drive, man. I'm like, I can't even park the car back. And I'm like, fuck. I can't do it right now. I'm like, I ain't hopping. I look at his car. I was gonna do it too. I look at his car's blood everywhere. Nah, I'm good. I'm like the whole time just fucking up my high right now, bro. Like, I told you not to snort it. Even I told him not to. True story.
Shit. Oh my god. All right. Bogart's got to shoot a music video.
Yeah.
So we're going to cut it off, but appreciate everyone that ends up listening to this. This will be on podcast platforms as well. Bogart, tell everyone where they can find you at.
Hey, you can find me at the GMM Network on all social media platforms, and you can subscribe to the GMM Network on YouTube. You can also find the Real Fantasy Playmakers podcast on all streaming platforms. And proud to say we're relaunching again. You know, we took a little 3-month almost hiatus, and I don't even want to call it a hiatus. It's a transitional period. So, boom.
I like that. Boom. Full circle. Everyone, you can find me on all social media platforms and YouTube by searching Blitz with Blake. Here soon, a lot of big things coming. Just keep the Nightcap Network and the fucking boys, Bogart, myself, Guru, and Fantasy Football Hustler in mind. Cannot thank everyone enough that tuned in. And take her fucking sleazy.
Can I roll some? Can I keep it lit? Can I smoke some? Can I be about a grip? Can I stack up? Can I say money talk? I don't flat guns. Can I play a low key? Mask up? Can I keep it on me? Stay strapped up? Can I hit it face down? Ass up? Can I say we had of our time? The game lap